Okay. Well, I don't know what I was trying to go through StreamYard, and apparently I did something wrong. Hello. Hey, Dakotas. Can you hear me all right? Is everything... Looks like I got a blur on there or something. Can you hear me all right? Hey, Bubba. Guys, I don't know what I did on StreamYard. I was trying to bring it up on that, and it completely just cut it out. So I jumped over here to YouTube as fast as I could just to get this thing going. So I will play with StreamYard quite a bit more this week. And oh, it's all good. It's all good, Bubba. Like I say, I'm just on YouTube right now because I did something wrong on the StreamYard. So we'll try for next week if that's cool with you. I have I've been doing some homework this past week, along with Halloween and everything else. Before I go any further, did you guys have a good Halloween? Okay, awesome. So I promise, guys, I will get this stuff figured out. Getting cold there. Yeah, it's kind of chilly here. I had to use the propane heater in here day before yesterday. It was rainy and cold, and I was trying to put that universal joint in, and it was like 40, which to me is cold. So riding a dinosaur. Okay. I must have overlooked that or something. I have to go back and try and find that. I want to see I want to see you riding a dinosaur. Chris, are you on? Are you on? So there was Lord, I love when people just want to mess with you. So that is not what I'm wanting to do. I'm trying to find something real quick, guys. Just bear with me just for a second. That's the wrong one. Well, mine is the same as TikTok and YouTube. It's still the American Auto 20. My problem is, hey, Dakota, I was going to give you a shout out. Yeah, man. Wait till I build this thing up to, with y'all's help and everybody who's pitched in a hand to help me. Man, I appreciate it so much. Y'all are helping me grow this thing, and I'm trying to get, past where we are right now. And when it gets bigger, I promise you, I will not forget the guys that helped me in the very beginning get this thing started. My whole life has been about where I came from and remembering who helped me. So for that, I thank you guys. But now I'm going to move on real quick because there's a lot of busy things going on the home front. And so I'm not going to be able to stay out too late tonight. But woohoo! I seen that 62 followers finally. And that jumped up today because somebody else hit that button. So thank you to all of you. Now, if I could just figure out how to get all 62 into the live feed, that would be awesome. Hey, Turlo. Welcome. So I know you guys are probably a lot smarter than I am, but I've been doing some research this week because it just kind of bugged me because I did not know the answers to some questions. Like, I know Ford has been around since 1896. Okay. Their first truck was built out of a Model T, a depot hack. And I was like, well, when did Chevy come along? And then how long has Chevy made trucks? And when did the C&K become part of it? Well, I found all that out. Now, I don't know if you guys want to know. So just let me know if you do, because I got a little bit of info here. Also, I need y'all's opinion on something. So I sold my Cadillac this past week. I bought the Expedition, and I can't believe I got rid of one of my cars, but I did. And now I'm looking for a new project, a cheap project, something I can bring in, work on, and flip. So I have found a little weird thing, and I want to know what y'all's opinion is of it. It's a 1970 Buick Opel Cadet 1900. Do any of y'all know anything about the Opel Cadets, or is there a market for them? Is there not? Does anybody want them that y'all know of? And it says it comes with a spare engine, which I'm assuming the one that's in it's probably shot. I don't know. I haven't even been to look at it yet. I've just seen pictures. I personally would like to try and keep it original, but it comes with a 3.8 liter V6, which I could only imagine would make that thing scream. High 20s at night. Holy crap. High 20s at night? Man, y'all, that's cold. I'm a tropical person. I like it to be a little bit warmer than that. I think the coldest I've ever seen the whole time I've been in Tennessee, coldest I've seen has been -7. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Turlo, is the parts are going to be outrageously hard to find. So I'm kind of wondering if it would even be worth it to mess with. I mean, technically it would be considered a classic, but so would a Chevette. And nobody really liked them unless they was dropping a small block in them. Right, yeah. I haven't either. Now, I built, of course, this is completely off topic. I built a butt ton of Model A's and Model T's. Shoo. Yeah, that's still too cold. That's like almost Canada. -30 or so without the wind chill factor. No, I'm good. I'll stay right here. But I think that just kind of helped me get the idea. I can't wait till, well, I say I can't wait till this coming year. I want to go to Dallas Fort Worth. I really do. I want to see the place. Oh, I agree. Turlos. I mean, there's only so much I can do with this without taking it back down to nothing and starting over with a complete different build. And I'm definitely not doing that. So there is a 81 square body down at the end of town. I think I'm gonna stop and check on it tomorrow and see if they're interested in selling it at all. As long as they don't want 10 grand. Right here where I'm at, the people are crazy. Like, I know square bodies are worth money. I know these are worth money. But when you find one, don't have a motor, don't have a transmission, running gears shot in it, it's got rust all over the place. I mean, it's Swiss cheese all over the place. I'd spend 150 man hours just doing metal work in it just to even get it somewhat back. And they're wanting $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 for it, and that, I just can't see that. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Cletus is doing an $800 challenge. Okay. Right. They're all right here where I'm at. They between here and North Carolina, which is just up the road. I've got a car sitting out there right now. It's a 2004 model, and it is complete. One side of it, the door seal. I pulled door seal off of it yesterday, just seeing how far in the rust went, and the metal that the door seal sets on just come off with it. I thought maybe the door was open. No, it's just rusted that much through, and it's because in North Carolina they use that brine pickle juice stuff to keep the roads clear, and they're starting to use it down here. Stuff with not Cletus McFarland. Yeah. Actually, Bubba, what I was thinking about doing is because right now you can still get a square body long wheelbase that, yeah, Brian is horrible. I mean, that's why I've got that car sitting out there that's about to fall apart. Runs great. If a Ford can run great, it runs great. But, and I mean, it's four-wheel drive and everything. But the whole back end of it is just a rust show. And it's all because they use brine up there. It's horrible. But what I was saying though is around here, you can still somewhat get the long wheelbase trucks and just cut it down. And I know you can find short beds. And I mean, as long as you cut the frame right and do it the right way, if you know what you're doing, then it's not that bad. Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants them. And I mean, it's not hard to shorten them if you have the right toolage, a good welder, and patience. Yeah, that's because everybody's done bought them all up. My wife and I went to the rod runs there in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee here last year. And if there wasn't 10,000 C10s, I'd be willing to kiss somebody's behind, because I mean it was ridiculous at the C10s. And the whole purpose of me looking was to try and find a GMC. Well, I found probably 5 GMCs, and out of them 5, none, 0 were step side. Which just blows my mind, because I mean, I guess back in them days, the step sides really wasn't all that popular on farms and stuff, because I mean it was less bed space. Yeah, slam it on its nuts, put some big wheels on it, let it go. Yeah. Uh, I had an 88 a couple of years ago, 88 1500. God, it was an ugly truck. Steering wheel was so loose in it that it wobbled around like this. And my buddy'd hop in and he said, "Man, we're going to call this thing a Cessna." I said, "That's more like airplane controls than a steering wheel." But I kind of was thinking, well, what can I do with this to make it cool? And I got looking online, and I found several long wheelbase trucks that people have built up. I mean, shoot, even like farm truck, his is a long wheelbase. Of course, his also has 1,500 horsepower. Kind of has me beat by just a few. I've got just a touch less. So, without looking it up, guys, does anybody know when Chevrolet was founded? Ironically, they were founded at the same time my favorite gun was, 1911. To be exact, November 3rd, 1911. Just probably useless information, but information nonetheless. But that was Chevrolet as a whole. The first truck ever built from Chevrolet, General Motors, wasn't built until 1918. And that that was a 1-ton. Been around for for a minute. That's why I was saying this past week I got super curious about a bunch of different things with Chevrolet and GMC and all that, and I was kind of confused, because initially I thought GMC was supposed to be the higher end of the Chevrolet, and way back when it wasn't. GMC was actually the workhorse, which I guess would explain why there's not as many around today. Just a thought. I seen a 4-door Nova yesterday, Dakota, and it was a little 6-cylinder 3-speed car, 4-door, and dude, right, right. But yeah, he had that. I want to say it was 72, 73 Nova, and give the guy props, man. He thought it was the greatest thing on earth, and I mean, it wasn't horrible. Uh, it could have used a lot of work, but it was still sitting with the poverty caps. Which I kind of like the poverty caps on the old cars. The GMC dome dish center, the wheel caps, man, them things are just beautiful. I just love that design. I love the way GMC's rode in them. Yeah, I mean, so I was probably 7, maybe 8 years old, and my mom played music. My dad played music. They were in a band together, and so at 7, 8 years old, living in Jacksonville, Florida, mom didn't trust leaving me at home alone, so she put us off with somebody. I can't even remember who it was, but I know there was a teenage girl there, and she had this boyfriend that all they talked about was this race car, race car, race car. And I remember he came around and wanted to take her for a ride, and the only way she could go was if we went with her. And so they put us in the back of that car, and it was a Nova. I don't know what year. He had just put in his he'd just done his positive traction in it. And man, to me, that thing was it was a rocket ship for 7, 8-year-old kid. But the main thing I remember, aside from the sound and the smell and the tires screeching as he went around the corner from the posi, was the roll down back windows, the little quarter windows. Man, you couldn't have told me there was anything cooler at that time. And that's just something that stuck with me since. And that's kind of that, and remembering on the old GM products, the Body by Fisher little logo and the door jamb. Those two things have stuck with me my entire life, and that's one of the reasons I'm a GM guy. I mean, I love pretty much anything GMC or Chevrolet. But I'm not a snob. I will drive a Ford, hence the 01 Expedition I just got, because Cadillac won't pull a car long. So, yeah. So what I wrote down here, the first Chevy truck was built in 1918. The first Chevy truck was a 1-ton and inspired factory workers who already modified vehicles for General Motors to run parts to the factory to make this truck. Oh, who don't love El Caminos? Everybody loves El Caminos, I believe. Is it a car? Is it a truck? It's neither. It's an El Camino. I think El Camino slammed on the ground with a good, hard, like a mother thumper cam or something like that, just hard hitting, just lope. I think that is the greatest sound in the world. It's an El Camino. I mean, how can you go wrong? Family and stuff. And then you're just with a hot rod in the garage because your family always wants to tag along with you, and you can't take them in an El Camino unless you throw them in the bed. So, do y'all? I know this is the C10 group, but do y'all have y'all seen what a depot hack looks like from Ford? Yes, some did. Um, it was pretty rare, but they did have them. I want to say, wasn't it They did that. They put a big block in them, and they did something different with the bodies. Like I know in the 80s, early to mid 80s, when they did the SS and they did the 454 El Camino, they also did the 400 El Camino, but I'm not sure. I think that was very, very limited. But they all had, well, if you look at Cletus McFarland's, the way it has the chin lip on the front bumper, they had that in the hood scoop, and they did crazy designs on the doors and stuff. And I want to say they had them a little bit lower than the rest of them. But yeah, they did do from 70 on up. They did do big blocks in quite a few of them. Not in astronomical numbers by any means. That's why if you find one now, you found pretty much a gold mine. Have you guys spent any time working on or messing around with any of the Model A stuff? And there's a reason I asked that. Oh, I'm sure. I mean, an El Camino with a 350 was quick. There you go, Dakota. And that's what I was trying to think of. Yeah, that Laguna front end with that chin spoiler on it. And I think that was one of the most badass looks in the world. That on the El Camino, which I like the Monte Carlos too. And I mean, they did some of the Monte Carlos that had the different front ends on stuff like that. Heck yeah. Dude, that T-buckets are a blast. They really are. Yeah. Had something on it. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, Dakota. I didn't even think about that. It had something on there. It was weird. So here in Tennessee, I got my start into working on cars here and getting to know the local people, because I mean, in this area, that's all there is the volunteer fire department, which I'm not a part of. I did my years fighting fire and helping people. So I got away from that. I've worked on cars my entire life. I just wanted to do something better. So I wound up getting this job working for a guy who does full frame off, bolt to bolt, full restorations on specifically Model A's, but we did Model T's. I worked on, actually the last car I worked on for the guy was a 1937 Cord 812, which was a really cool car. Jay Leno's got one. I highly recommend, if you don't watch Jay Leno's Garage, at least go back on YouTube and check it out. That car is so unique. Cessna, the guy who created Cessna, come up with that car, and then got it budgeted through it was Cord, Auburn, and Duesenberg. So it was a high-end car built on low-end everything else. It's really cool though. And that's a Cord, C-O-R-D. And they had 2 or 3 different distinctions of it. And they only made it for, I think, 6 or 7 years. But super cool car. So the Model Ts, there was, it was a race car is what they come out with. It was really odd. So it had the same running gear, everything as the model before and the model after. Just a little inline 4-cylinder. flathead, little Zenith carburetor, nothing real fancy. Back then, to get power, it wasn't build the motor bigger. So what did I do but start stripping parts off? We had one over there where I worked at. We called it the plywood racer because essentially that's what it was. What's up, 615? How you doing, man? But yeah, they stripped a bunch of crap off of it. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome, Turlo. I look forward to hopefully seeing pictures of it or something. Man, that I love to see what people do with those. I mean, everybody just wears out. Everybody just wears out the Model A's, right? They're ripping fenders off of them, take the running boards off of them, cut the tops down. It's just, oh, okay. I'll have to go check it out then as soon as this is over. I've been so busy here the past week, I ain't had time enough to think straight at all. But that's how I got my start into the classic cars up here in Tennessee, is just going to work for that man. And I mean, we did one car that was up for the Henry Ford Award, which turned out super nice. And I mean, until that point, I'd never done any kind of fabrication work at all. And they just kind of stuck me in the metal room and said, here, do it. So I played around until I got it. Well, $615, actually, StreamYard's still up on my thing up here. I don't know what I did. I didn't play with it enough, apparently. I thought I had it figured out, but when I went into the studio and got ready to go, it just kicked me out. So I'll play with it some more this week and see what I can get figured out on it for sure. I might do another midweek live or something just to see what happens. Yeah, Bubba, I'm working on it next, this coming week to see what all we can do so that way I can bring you on. Oh, sweet. Debacle. That's such an awesome word. David Freiberger uses it a ton. Yes, that's you're exactly right, and that's what I need to do. Last week I tried to post that I was going live on the C10 group, and it never, I guess they denied it. So I'll get with the moderators this week. And again, matter of fact, let me write that down right now so I don't forget. Because I would love to get that whole group on here and talk to everyone about their builds. Because, I mean, God knows that group has got some pretty, that burgundy one I just seen the other day, or candy apple or whatever. Oh, my God, that truck is gorgeous. All right, cool. Which I'm pretty certain in that one, in the group, I think they specified it was 73 and up. Yeah, for real. That's exactly what I intend on telling them, to see if they'll go with it. Because, I mean, that's crazy. It says I have nobody on. But I intend on getting with them to see if we can get it worked out to where I can post on there, because I'd love to see everybody from that on here. Am I gay? Really? Okay, sounds good. Sounds good, Bubba. Ali Aoud. Sure, if that's what you want to think. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out, Bubba. I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. Blue wrench. Can I do that right now, or do I have to do that afterwards? Yeah, exact. Damn trolls. The blue. Oh, wait a minute. You mean right here? No, it won't let me do anything there, Bubba. And if I go over here to this side, let's see what this does. Huh, here we go. Ah, come on. Oh, okay. I see it. So give me 1 second, because I don't want, the thing keeps moving. And this alley troll person, I do not want to make a moderator on this page. So let me see. And my computer is acting wonky. Boom. Bubba Ayers is now a moderator for your channel. I don't know what that means, so. And I'm going to go right here for just a second, guys. Click this. Remove. Ha ha. So the comment thing keeps moving back and forth, and it goes up and down. And right when I was over there clicking the setting, little 3 setting bubble, it kept trying to move down, trying to block that guy or whatever it is, and it scrolled down, and it kept landing on Bubba's name. I was like, stop. Guys, y'all are a whole lot better at this than I am, but it'll come around. I learn. Log 615 just for practice. Oh, Lordy. So, right. So when you add a person as a moderator, what exactly does that, what does it do? I mean, I don't understand is what it comes down to. I am very computer illiterate. And the bad part is that's probably somebody I know. just messing with me. Ah, okay. Oh, okay, cool. Well, that works. That works for sure. That works for sure. So I'm probably, I know I'm going to make one person smile. Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome. So one of the vehicles I found today that I will probably be getting week is Jeep Grand Cherokee with the V8 in it. I don't know what's wrong with it. Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. But I don't know what's wrong with it. I know it's supposed. They said it has the Hemi in it, so I might be having to do some research on that, just because I don't know what they just said it didn't run it right. So I'll get that in this week, and I mean they're going to let it go for scrap. They were going to haul it to the scrap yard, and I said no, don't do that, because for what, if I have to put a motor in it, so what? I can still get my money back out of it. But that's one. And then the rest, I don't know. Like I say, I'm going to check on that square body at the end of town, check on a couple more, and just try and get. My main goal is to get to old cars. I just want to work on old cars. Get them in. I don't want to make them perfect. I want to do what is called like a mechanical restoration. Get them running, driving, and all like they're supposed to, and pass them down the road, and hopefully get some of these young kids into the classic cars. I mean, we have quite a few young guys around here that are into them. There's this 19-year-old boy down here that has a Falcon or Galaxy, and he's proud of that thing. And he's kind of come around a few times asking questions and stuff, and I try and help him as best I can. But that's my goal. I think every young kid, every teenager at some point should be able to, they should have the opportunity to experience classic cars. And I want to be able to help them do that. That's what my goal is as far as what I do. And in the process of it, I want to document it all and put it out on YouTube as well. But before I can get there, I have to work on modern stuff. So it is what it is. My dog. And in case anybody was wondering from the conversation from last night, yes, I got rid of the meth head that was in the front yard. Oh, okay. Well, my shop's little for now. Uh, Unfortunately, the bad part is that whole half from probably about the back of the cab all the way back here, and this whole wall over here is all underground. So It is. It is. It's a lot bigger than what I had 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was working in a lean-to in a muddy yard. So I mean, I am proud of it. It's come a long way from when I started. And I mean, shoot, I've done this truck out of it so far. There's a Corvette in some of my pictures, a bright orange Corvette. I've done every bit of the mechanical work on that one out of this shop here, not to mention the customer cars I work on. So it's pretty decent. I started under three. No kidding. The biggest pain in the butt about that was getting pine needles down carburetors. Seriously. I had a 84, 85 Monte Carlo SS. It was the Aero Coupe. It had this big old ugly back glass on it. And that was what I built. I built this nice little 355. I put turbo 350 in it. Put the B&M shift kit and all in it, which I did wrong to start with, drilling the holes in the plate. Unless you know transmissions, I wouldn't do it. I won't do it again. I had a Lincoln locker for a rear end with 411s in it. And oh, okay. Well, I agree. So, well, how many mods can you have? And I mean, the other thing, I don't want to just click on somebody if they don't want to do it. And I mean, no hard feelings or nothing. I don't want to push that on somebody or anything like that. I mean, I appreciate it, but as many as I want. Okay. Well, 615, you interested in it? 615 and Turlo. Would y'all mind if I put y'all on there as well? Okay. All right. So click. $615 is now a moderator. And all right, guys. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for helping with this even more. I mean, that Turles, that's exactly what I'm doing as I'm learning on the fly. But anyway, guys, yeah. Right. Exactly. So, and I'm thankful for, I mean, you three guys have so far, y'all have literally blown up everything for me. And I know there's more. I'm not saying no one else has. I'm just saying you three guys, y'all three have just blown this up immensely. And well, Dakota as well. Dakota as well. Like I say, I don't want to leave anybody out, but I mean that is greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated so much. Oh, that reminds me. I was watching a video yesterday of a smoke machine, homemade smoke machine, which was super awesome. I just have to know, is the chemical that you use in there top secret? Because if not, I would like to know. But if it is, I completely understand. Guys, hang on one second. Okay. Lord have mercy. I thought the ghost had done started moving stuff in the house. Yeah. Yeah, for real, Dakota. That's you're dead on it there. And like I said, as I get more in tune with all this that I'm doing, guys, I will blow y'all stuff up. Oh, so yeah, 615. My question is I was watching that the smoke machine that you'd made, the homemade smoke machine. So my question was the chemical that you use in there, I know you had said baby oil and a sock. But is there something else in there, or is that top secret? Like I say, because I could really use something like that. And if it's top secret, I completely understand. Oh, really? Just baby oil and a sock? No kidding. Okay. Ah, okay. Mineral. See, I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know that was able to be a thing. Oh, man. I wanted to use a dirty one. The one that hangs on the door handle. And that was just a regular soldering iron, which I'm looking right now. Mine apparently got moved. Yeah, it did. I put it over in the drawer. Yeah, that's what I've got. Just one of these little cheap ones. It's super, super. Matter of fact, yeah, there it is. Matter of fact, it was free 99. Got it in a box of junk I picked up somewhere, and it worked. Battery. I have to go back and watch that. Find it. Um, I have a bottle up here of battery acid that it worked to bring one back, but the rest of the time I end up having to use water and drop in a aspirin, and sometimes that works. We all have to be in some sort, don't we? Hell, that's how I learned how to do all the stuff. Exactly. If it works, it works. That's how I've learned how to do everything I've done is from being cheap or broke, which broke and cheap kind of go together. Yeah. I remember when I was little, my grandfather was doing that, and I couldn't for the life of me understand. It took, hell, I was probably in my 20s before I figured out that something about the aspirin just does it. I don't know if the aspirin brings back the electrolytes or revamps some of the acid in it or something. I don't know. But it works decent on batteries that aren't completely shot, but I haven't had any luck on completely gone batteries. Yeah, Dakota, you're right on that. Uh, that's why I have a pile of stuff in here and I have a pile of stuff out there because I mean, I like most of us, I look at it and I'm okay. 615. Huh. I have to remember that, Bubba, because I'd only put like one on each end or whatever. That's what I remember seeing my grandfather do. So maybe the more aspirin does it, I guess. Yeah, Dakota, you're right. Waste not, want not. I mean, that's why I've got an old Holly sitting back here on my shelf that okay, 615, I will. I'm gonna play with it this week and see what I can get figured out. But if I have any trouble, I'll definitely holler at you. I'll figure out what it is I did wrong tonight for sure. But I mean, but yeah, you're right. Waste not, want not. I've got where I like the HEI distributors for the GM stuff. And I've got two inline six cylinders, I think a 230 and a 250. We're like the 9-volt batteries together. Got them hit. What? Huh. Okay. I don't quite understand what you mean by link the 9-volt batteries together. Like do a positive. Yeah. Yeah. The HEI is my favorite. I, I mean, shoot, right here on the shelf behind the computer, I've got a cap sitting there. In my cabinet over here, I've got 4 coils for it. I've got the ballast transistor, an extra one of those. Uh, I mean, I keep all the parts I can to an HEI. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely stuff to look up. um, yeah, that they are my absolute favorite. I mean, think about it; they're good enough that even Ford sells a rendition of it for their engines because pentatron or the pentatonic or whatever it is. No, that's a scale on guitar. Anyway, yeah, their stuff ain't all that great. Which the Corvette, that the 72 Corvette I was working on, had a points distributor in it, and I converted it from that over to the HEI. Ordered a new set, like this Assault Racing. It's cheap stuff, but it's got the same part number as the MSD, and it's the billet aluminum base and still big red cap and all that. So it looks identical. Matter of fact, it's the same one I've got on this truck here. It looks just like the MSD, and super cheap though, like $60. But I converted that Corvette over to that because that's what they wanted to buy, which I recommended going to HEI, but I thought they were going to spend extra money on MSD. Anyway, the whole point is I switched it from the point style over to the HEI and gained like 15 horsepower. It was crazy, just off of a better operating ignition system. Oh yeah, using brass, yeah. So yeah, when he bought that Corvette, and he was so stinking tickled with it, which I don't blame him. I love Corvettes. I think they're really beautiful cars. So when he got this one, it was a big block car, and I don't think I posted any videos of it, but I brought the car over here, and it was making making a slight upper end noise, kind of like lifters, but it wasn't. I can't really explain it, but anyway, the oil pressure gauge was not reading anything. So I shut it off and we pulled it in here, and I hooked my pressure kit up to it. Of course, it's pumping 65 psi, and it just takes it a second to get up there to the top. But instead of cranking the car up, I had an HEI distributor laying around that was absolutely shot. Like the bushings were gone in it. It was just horrible. So I pulled a Mike Finnegan move, and I watched it on Roadkill where he cut one down to make it work for a primer tool. That is still in my toolbox. I just put it on my grinder and I ground the teeth off the end of it, left the flat blade in the end of it, and cut the top of the cap off, left the shaft out just enough where you can put a drill on it, run it down in there. Man, that joker fired. I mean, it worked excellent. So that's what I use as a priming tool. Really? Let me ask you guys your opinion on this. So aftermarket gauges like your oil and temp and voltage and stuff like that, do you have a preference, or is it just whatever's cheap? I mean, if you say money's not an option, not an issue. Glow shift. So that's what I'm saying though, Dakota. If I agree with you, I'm not disputing that, not one bit. But if you had the option, would you go with the higher end gauge, or would you still stick with whatever the cheapest is? I mean, I've had good luck with the gauges that Harbor Freight sells a 3-pack, and it's water. I mean, it's temp. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. My Camaro, I used the Harbor Freight gauges, $14.99 for a set for the three, the oil, temp, and voltage. This truck has Equus. Now I don't know if y'all have used the Equus gauges, but I love them. They are just, of course, I wish they looked more vintage, but for what they are, they look really good. I like them. Well, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. So I don't have an RPM gauge in this truck. Oh, cool. Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. So, yeah, what I was saying is I don't have an RPM gauge in this truck. And because it has a BorgWarner 5-speed in it, it has electrical hookups for our speedo and all that. So my speedometer is my phone. And if I had an RPM gauge in it before, but somebody needed it really, really bad. So I sold it to them because they needed it. And, but I could usually go, 2,500 RPM. I knew I was running 50 mile an hour. Now I don't have that, but I didn't mind selling it. Of course, it was just a little one of the old Sun Pro RPM gauges. I liked it because it was vintage looking, and it was a little bitty one, like 3-inch. But I would like to find, and I might be crazy for it, but I would like to find either a factory RPM gauge for these trucks. I don't know if they have them or what they look like. Or I want to find like an old Camaro style, one of the short ones that just, one of them I think would be just out of this world for that. That's what I would love. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Cool. I don't know. I want to say I have heard of Glow Shift. I can't place them, but you said they change colors, right? Like you can change the color on them? Yeah, you can change the light colors. Glow Shift. So the only one I have right now, and I'm not even sure it even works anymore, is this little guy here. And I mean cheap. Cheap. This little dude right here. I'm sure it probably has a name on it somewhere. but I've yet to see it. Just got grease on me. I can tell you it lights up blue. I can tell you the shift light works. But what's crazy is you got this guy here. You set it where you want it. This one here is for your shift light. Just whatever. But the whole backlight in here lights up. The screen is white and the numbers and all are blue. I think I found that for $18 on like Amazon or something. And like I say, I don't even know if it works anymore. I thought about putting it in the truck, you know, the whole blue on blue on blue thing. But I think I'm going to pass on that one and find me, like I say, what I'm looking for. But, I mean, I don't know, guys. I really don't know which one I want to go with. I may go back with the Sun Pro and just mount it in the dash. I don't know. What do y'all think? You think that Camaro one would be decent? Just mounted on the dash? Or well, no, because I don't want to mess up the dash pad though. So I'll probably just go with a Sun Pro in the dash. Because this don't have the high option dash in it anyway. Matter of fact, where you would think would be an RPM gauge is just a cross. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what I'll end up doing. No, Turlo, thank you for coming, man. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm with you, brother. It's been an hour and 13 minutes, and I know my wife's got to be up extremely, extremely early in the morning, and that baby wakes up at 5:30 regardless. So I'm kind of going to have to get off here myself. I didn't even realize it had been that long yet again. This is twice that we've had these go on, and it just kind of zooms right on past an hour. Turlos, we'll catch you later. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, man. But yeah, guys, I've had a blast doing this, and I want to continue on. Bubba, I definitely want to get this into the C10 group, so I'll see what I can do as far as getting through to the page people. I'll see what I can do to get through to the page people who are over that group and see what we can push out there. But guys, I'm going to jump off here before I end up divorced. And I'm sure I will talk to some of you guys during the week. Y'all have a good night and take care, and thanks again. And thank y'all for the moderator part too. Keeping the trolls out. Good night, guys.